So I wanted to talk a bit tonight about something that a lot of my friends are talking about now. I've even had family members talk about it, and it's basically the diet trend called intermittent fasting. People who are really into it actually refer to it by the initials IF. And so what it is basically a theory that a healthy way to eat or not eat is to basically go on short fasts during the day or for a part of the week. But the general way that a lot of people do it is they'll basically purposely not eat anything. Maybe they'll drink water or have black coffee or something like that, but they won't eat anything for a long stretch of the day. They'll basically maybe go 12 to 16 to 18 hours where they don't eat anything, and instead they fit 1, 2, or 3 meals into a shorter span, like say maybe 8 hours of the day. So for example, I'll tell you one way that I've experimented with this that worked pretty well in terms of trying to maintain a healthy weight, avoiding cravings for various foods like pizza. I love pizza. So and on a reporter's schedule, it can be a little bit difficult because you're out on the road a lot. I'm here in the newsroom, and it can be a little bit difficult. But anyway, I'll tell you what I did. So basically, the way I worked it was I pretty much wouldn't eat anything after 10 p.m., 11 p.m. I would go to bed around midnight or 1 a.m. and then I wake up at say 10 a.m., 11 a.m. So right there, you've already knocked out a lot of hours that you wouldn't be eating anyway, essentially, as long as you're not prone to a midnight snack. And then at 11 a.m. I would wake up. The first thing I recommend doing is having a glass of cold water, first of all, because you're basically dehydrated anytime you sleep for 7 to 8 hours because you haven't had any liquid in your body. So a glass of cold water or room temperature water, and then I try to have a lot of sparkling water in my refrigerator pretty much at all times or with me, whether it's the flavored kind or just your old-fashioned San Pellegrino or Perrier, whatever, or just the cheaper kind from Trader Joe's or Aldi or whatever. So sparkling water can be really filling, actually. And so that's another way to kind of, if you wake up and you're hungry, to not eat food right away. And the crazy thing about this is, as I'm saying this, you might be thinking, oh my God, does Bo Berman have an eating disorder, or, is he in trouble? Should I call a doctor? And the answer is frankly no. And a lot of health professionals, or at least a lot of, diet gurus, health folks, have put this intermittent fasting into the mainstream in the last 12 to 18 months. And people like Tim Ferriss have talked about it, the author, have talked about it even before that. Greg O'Gallagher, a fitness guru type of person, has talked about it for a long time. So it's pretty commonplace now, but it's interesting, fitting it into different diets depending on your career, or different careers, I mean, because it can be more challenging depending on what your schedule is. But in any case, back to what I'm talking about here, sparkling water. I'm a big fan of black coffee, which basically has no calories, but it does have caffeine, so that can power you through in terms of giving you an energy boost in the morning. And so regular water, black coffee, whether it's cold brew, which I'm a huge fan of. I make my own at home. You can do it really easily, pretty cheaply. Sometimes I also just buy it at the store. There's a big jug that Starbucks makes, actually. And I prefer to shop mom and pop for coffee, but sometimes, hey, if it tastes good, it tastes good. So there's a cold brew, or basically just an iced coffee that tastes like cold brew, that Starbucks makes, and it's like $5, often on sale for $2.50, which is a crazy deal, but it's a huge thing. It's like 48 ounces, whereas you go to buy a coffee at Starbucks normally, and a cold brew there is like $4 for a small one, but you get this huge jug of it for $5, sometimes even cheaper. They do a sale usually, but anyway, so big fan of that. And then bottom line is, by 2 o'clock, essentially, I'll have a meal. I'll have a really good meal. I'll have a big meal. You basically can eat like a king or queen once you're breaking the fast, of course. So, but by this point, many hours have gone by. I've fasted. I've done morning errands. I may have done a workout powered by that caffeine. I'm hydrated because I'm having a lot of water. I'm pretty satiated because I'm having the sparkling water. And so then, at 2 o'clock, I might have one of my normal meals, which might be slices of chicken cut up with guacamole, broccoli, chicken and broccoli, beef with broccoli. Another option is something I've been experimenting with, a lot of my friends are trying, is putting MCT oil into the coffee. So then that way you're getting some fats early on, which is not quite fasting, I guess, but it's a little derivation on this whole thing. But they say that can be really good for the brain and also really good for keeping you feeling full and giving you fuel throughout the day. So there's MCT, that Bulletproof brand, which I'm generally against, but they have one called XCT, which is basically the same thing, but maybe a little souped up. So you put that in the coffee, or in a protein shake or something if you're not doing intermittent fasting or whatever. But anyway, and so I've had pretty good results on this. I know I have friends who've had pretty good results. I don't have a clinical trial here to present you. I'm not a doctor, so before you try any sort of diet or weight loss program, you should absolutely consult with your primary care physician and do your own research about it. But I just wanted to give you a reporter's take on it. And so basically 2 o'clock I'll have that big meal, and I'll definitely be full after that. I'm full usually until about 5, 6 o'clock. I'll bring a snack with me to work. I might have like an apple or two at work, or something like that. And then I'm big lately on these fancy beef jerkies and fancy meats like venison, by the Epic brand and stuff like that, or like a granola bar by Kind. I'll have one of those. And then I have basically like my second, eat like a king meal at maybe anywhere between 6 and 9 o'clock, preferably earlier, between maybe 7 and 8. But on this schedule, we're out at breaking news, we're here, we're there, so you never know when you're going to have a chance. But, I try to bring it with me in a Tupperware container, have my fork, have my beverage, and, my hope is that I get to eat it warm, but often I'm eating it cold. And so that'll usually be chicken with broccoli that's seasoned, and beef with broccoli or something like that. Probably need to work on getting more fats in there, honestly, to hit the right macronutrient levels. But I think I'm going to go back into another round of IF, as they call it, intermittent fasting, because I've gained some weight recently and I haven't been doing it. So I think I want to get back into it. Something that a lot of people are trying out, a lot of my friends are doing, a lot of fitness pros are getting into. So anyway, I just wanted to give everybody a window into what it's like for me as a local news reporter here in Pittsburgh to try that when I've tried out this intermittent fasting diet protocol. And you'd be surprised. It sounds like, if I told you straight up that, right off the bat, if I said go 16 hours without eating anything, or 18 hours, it sounds crazy at first, but once you try it, you might be surprised. So if you consult your doctor and it sounds like it's good for you, maybe give it a shot. Take care. Oh, and please subscribe if you